This is from the old school, new school.
Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself. Now we go to videotape the collapse of this building. It's amazing. Amazing, incredible, pick your word. For the third time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down.
Senator, true or untrue that there have been occasions over the last, let us say, decade when the evidence pointed clearly to some sort of state-sponsored terrorism. I'm not suggesting that this was state-sponsored terrorism. I'm saying clearly we don't know what this is. But is it true or untrue that in the past, over the last decade, there have been those occasions when the evidence pointed to certain states, and that for one reason or another, neither the executive nor legislative branch of our U.S. government wanted to attend to that, the decision was made to look the other way?
I don't know if the intention, if the action was to just look the other way, but I think there were indications. Whether there was conclusive proof or not was a judgment that was made by our leaders, both in the executive and legislative branch.
Suspects are in FBI custody after a truckload of explosives was discovered around the George Washington Bridge. That bridge links New York to New Jersey over the Hudson River. Whether the discovery of those explosives had anything to do with other events of the day is unclear, but the FBI has two suspects in hand, said the truck load of explosives, enough explosives were in the truck to do great damage to the George Washington Bridge.
Mr. Riley? Is there any way before you leave, can I just maybe just ask you a question real quick?
Yes. And you are?
I'm Anthony Asher from wearechange.org. Just wanted to see
why we haven't. I'm late to this thing.
Why we haven't heard anything. I want to commend you, obviously, on your reporting on 9/11.
Well, thank you.
On the comment about the third time today seeing the buildings fall with well-placed dynamite. If maybe you could elaborate on that. Like I said, why we haven't heard anything more about that, especially with the failure of NIST reporting and still not being able to give us an answer on World Trade Center 7.
You know, I'm glad to meet you, and I respect the question. I respect it enough to say that to give a short, brief answers from one place to the other is not, I think, for me. But I was reporting live at 9/11, and I reported what I saw and tried to describe it as accurately as I know how.
I appreciate it.
Not at all.
If we did get a 9/11 investigation, would you be able to support it? If we were able to get a new 9/11 investigation, would you support it?
Well, I'm always interested in turning up new information. I would be honest with you and say that I have my doubts what that investigation would turn up. It's different. But if there's a new investigation, I certainly would follow it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
There was a time in South Africa that people would put flaming tires around people's necks if they dissented. And in some ways, the fear is that you will be necklaced here. You have a flaming tire of lack of patriotism put around your neck. Now, it's that fear that keeps journalists from asking the toughest of the tough questions.
Mark Anderson, American Free Press. I'm going to think outside the box a little bit here. Are you an independent journalist now?
Sorry, one question.
Anyway, you were talking about how the people in the newsroom are getting maybe a little too close to the corporate structure. You were saying that a little while ago. Right now in Chantilly, Virginia, there's a group that meets once or twice a year around the world in cordoned off areas, the Bilderberg group. Have you heard of that?
No, I don't think I've heard of the group.
What it is the biggest names in the corporate titans. Ben Bernanke, chairman of the Federal Reserve, is there right now. Donald Graham, Washington Post. Paul Gigeau, I think his name is, editorial page editor of the Wall Street Journal. But the basic question is, if you're not aware of it, are you comfortable with media moguls meeting with corporate titans in secluded areas, U.S. officials there possibly breaking the Logan Act,
Okay.
making policy.
I don't know about this group. Perhaps I should. I don't know about the situation.
It's been going on for 40 years.
Generally speaking, I would trust the experienced journalist to walk into any environment. In the same way I walk into this press conference. He's actually living on some other planet. I have to recognize that I've gotten some criticism for being here. I don't understand it. But I'm here because I want to learn. And in any situation, the journalist would go into and feels that he can learn and keep his independence. I don't see anything wrong with it. I do see a possible advantage to a hypothetical situation, not this particular situation, which is it gives those of us who are in journalism to make our case to the titans who run the outfits, the top people, make the case of can't we do a little more, at least a little more, do something in terms of public service. So I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. If it's in secrecy, I'm in favor of transparency. I think things should be transparent.
It would appear to be that it is secret. So.
Mark?